My name is Cecilia Ann Campbell in this land council. I was born Cecily Ann Solomon on Waka Waka country, Sherbrooke, and my spiritual home is Gari, which is Fraser Island. That's where my my great grandmother's comes from. And when I was a young girl, my mother went to work out on farms and everything, and I never saw her very much. But at 9 years old, my sister and I, Natasha, were adopted down in Victoria. I took off from Victoria when I was 15 and a bit, and lived in Sydney, and roamed all over the place. I'm the mother of two boys, Ernst and Carl Lotsky. I've got 8 great-grandchildren and 6 great-grandchildren, which are my pride and joy. I love every one of them. And I've always been interested in the Land Council since I joined back in 1992 when I took up employment at Gandangara for the Koori Youth Program. I think everyone should, who lives in this area of Gandangara, should come down and have an input into, you know, what they want for their children, their grandchildren and everything like that. Yeah. In regards to education, careers and everything like that. And get down and talk to, you know, the people at the grassroots level, you know. Within our community, we're all divided. And, you know, in my eyes, I'm not talking about anybody else, I'm talking about myself, seeing all these things where a lot of people, oh, I come from this nation, I come from, excuse me, we're at one nation here, right? And let's fix it up so we're all working together as one. And how can we have a treaty where we all don't work together as one? You know, we don't have to be in each other's pockets and saying that, oh, I love you this and I love you that and I believe you. And everyone's got their own opinion. For something like treaty, which we've been going on for years and years and years and years, and that should have been given to us without any arguments. As soon as people landed here, and they knew that there were Aboriginal, there were people living on this country, as soon as the governments were set up, they should have put us straight in. And we wouldn't have had this problem now that we're having, which is ridiculous. It's just gone on and on and on. And then they bring other people into the country, and then they don't tell them about the history of the Aboriginal people. So they're naive about the whole situation of how, because it never was in the curriculum in the first place, and it should have been. Because they said Captain Cook came here and everybody was hunky-dory and stuff like, well, it wasn't. Our people were getting murdered because, you know, they're hunters and gatherers and they were taking sheep and all the rest of it. But they never told anybody. I go out in the community and I talk to a lot of people. I don't care where they come from. You know, I give them respect if they give me respect, right? Vice versa, mate. And I tell them that the government don't tell them things that the government don't tell them. And they can't believe. I know. I say, did you know that there was slavery here? I said, my other blood that runs through my body is Solomon Island, right? And they never told them about the black burden even. They didn't tell them about my mother going out to work, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and not going to bed until about 12 o'clock at night and having 3 or 4 hours sleep, and then she's up again, scrubbing floors, cooking and everything else for everybody, while we were on the mission, starving. We hurt like everybody, and you know, we've suffered a lot of atrocities in our lives, you know, our people. I'm not saying, well, I have, but I'm not saying me like getting run down and murdered and stuff. All of our people have gone through all of that, you know, and I think it's about time the government woke up. The sorry did nothing for me. because it was only from one person. And all the people that walked over that thing, it was because it was something, it was an historic event. But personally, I never felt the sorry. Because if he would have said, let's give these people treaty and then we say sorry together, that would have done it for me.